Hello boys and girls, I'm Miss Knobel and today we're going to do Rate and Ratio. Remember we are still busy with number patterns or number systems. This is a very long lesson, complicated sums, so please play it over and over until you understand it. Let's go to a very special ratio that we use in architecture and in art. Even in nature you will see this ratio. And that is called the golden ratio. It's a pleasing ratio to the eye. It is used in art and architecture, as you can see here in the Parthenon in Greece. And this very special ratio we call phi. Here is the proportions of the human body that was done by Albrecht Dürer in the 19th century. And the proportions here, if you put the one proportion to the other proportion, you will get to phi, which is the golden ratio. Let's look at the definition and problem solving of rate and ratio. You need to understand the difference between rate and ratio very well. So ratio, we compare quantities or objects of the same kind. In rate, we compare quantities or objects of different kinds. In ratio, we're going to do two types of problem solving, sharing and increase and decrease. In rate, we're only going to do one problem, which is comparison. Let's do more examples of the difference between ratio and rate. Remember we said in ratio it's got similar units. So we've got a meter over a meter, length of wingspan over the length of the aeroplane, learners in a class, same units, ratio, whilst in rate we have different units, distance travelled and the fuel used in litres, those two different quantities, and chocolate bowls and the cost per box. So we need to now see how do we write a ratio down. So there's 3 points that I want you to take note of. The example that we're going to use is the rectangle's length is twice its width. But remember, we can also write a ratio as a fraction. We do not mention the units in a ratio, only in the answer. And always write your ratio and your fractions in simplest form. That is very important. So let's look at that example again. A rectangle's length is twice its width. Write down the ratio length to width. There you have it. The length is twice its width. So it's 2 to 1, which can also be written as 2 over 1. Or they can also ask the question width to length. So you have to now swap everything around. So the width is half the length. So it's now 1 to 2, which is equals to a half. You can see there's no units and it is in its simplest form. Let's do one example to show you the way of writing it and working it out. In a class of 40 learners, there are 14 boys. Write down the ratio number of boys to girls. Boys to girls, so you have to follow the exact same order. If there's 40 learners, 14 boys, there will be 26 girls. So boys to girls is 14 to 26. You have to write it in its simplest form, so I divide it by 2. So it's 7 to 13. You can also write it as 7 over 13. So for every 7 boys, there are 13 girls. I'm going to do another example. So we're going to write now the ratio of 3 salaries. You can see that I left out the rands and I write it in simplest form. So please look at this again and make sure that your answer is always in its simplest form. Now we're going to problem solving. So in ratio, there's 2 types of problem solving. The first one was sharing. So let's look at how do we do the sharing. So we share 30 marbles between Tabu and John in the ratio 3 to 2. How many marbles will each boy get? Remember to follow the exact same order in the names and the ratio. Tabu to John in the ratio 3:2. We're going to add that digits in the ratio to get a sum, and that sum is going to be your denominator. So Tabu gets 3 out of 5 times the total of the marbles, which gives you 18 marbles. John only gets 2 out of the total, or the sum, which is 2 out of 5, times 30, which is 12 marbles. There is another example. Please stop the video and do this in your own time. The answer is on the next slide. So the following method, or the following type of problem that they're going to ask you in ratio, is increasing and decreasing. But before we do increasing and decreasing, I just want to look at 2 things that I want to remind you of. A little bit of pre-knowledge. So let's go to cross multiplication. Remember, when we cross multiply, we multiply diagonally across the equal sign. X times 10 is 10x, 5 times 12 is 60. We equate. Remember, we are equating 2 ratios, and we find the answer as x equals to 6. Sorry for that. The other thing that I want to remind you of is how to create an equation and what an equation is. We have a left-hand side equals to a right-hand side. We make them equal to each other. We equate them. We have a ratio equals to a ratio. And remember, direct proportion we're going to do later. Remember that both units are either increasing or either decreasing. Either increasing or decreasing. Both of them. That is what a ratio problem is doing. I'm saying again, we are going to equate 2 ratios. They are in direct proportion. A little bit about it later. And direct proportion means both units in these 2 ratios are either being increased or decreased. There's 3 methods of solving increasing and decreasing ratio problems, and I'm now going to do them one by one. I want you to choose one that feels for you comfortable. Stick to that method and always use that method, but I am going to do all 3. So let's look at the problem. 6 books cost 2,388. How much would 10 cost? So can you see that the 6 is now becoming 10 books? So there's an increase. And when I find the answer, it must be more than 2,388. So both cost and number of the books increase. That means it's a ratio problem. It's direct proportion. We're going to do the cross multiplication. 6 to 2,388, 10 to x. There's your 2 ratios. Equate them. Do your cross multiplication, and you will see the cost of 10 books is more than the original cost, because it must increase, because the number of books increased. It's 3,980. I'm going to do now the second method. So we're going to use the same sum, but we're going to now use the formula. So when I work with increase, both cost and number are increasing. I have to use this formula where, or this fraction, where the numerator is greater than the denominator. So when you work with increasing, the numerator is greater than the denominator. So I have 2 books. I have 6 books, and I'm increasing it to 10 books. Which one am I going to use? Where the numerator is greater, 10 over 6 times 2,388 equals to 390, and that is the cost of 10 books. I just want to show you what happens when both units are decreasing, because that's still ratio, that's still direct proportion. So I'm now going to decrease 6 books to 4 books, meaning I'm going to ask how much does 4 books cost. Both the 2 units or quantities are decreasing, but this is now where the difference comes in. When you decrease, the numerator is now the smaller one and the denominator is the bigger one. Just want you to remember that when you're increasing, the numerator is the greater one, denominator the smaller one. If you're decreasing, the numerator is now the smaller one and the denominator is the greater one. And now you can also see that the original cost of 6 books is down to 1,592 for 4 books, so both decreased. There's a third method. I think this is probably the easiest method, but as I said, you can choose any one of the 3 methods that you feel comfortable with. Sum, both increasing. You can also have sums where both decrease using the same method. So if 6 books cost 2,388, I'm going to work out the cost of 1 book. So I divide 2,388 by 6, which is 398. And I want the cost of 10 books. So you just times it with times the cost per 1 book with 10. And you will get the answer. Let's now look at rate. And remember, in rate, I am comparing 2 different quantities. I'm going to do this one sum, which is a comparison sum. So I've got student 1 earns 1,392 for 29 hours work, holiday work probably. And I've got student 2 earns 935 for 17 hours work. Who was paid the highest rate? Who was paid the most per hour? So the best way to compare these 2 quantities, that's a rate, comparison of 2 quantities. We're going to work out the amount of money per hour. So it's a division sum. Let's look at it. Student 1 earns 1,392 divided by 29 is 48 Rand per hour. And student 2 earns 935 divided by 17, so it's the Rand divided by the hours, which is 55 Rand per hour. Student 2 earns the highest rate per hour. I hope you enjoyed the class as much as I did, and I see you next time. Thank you.